My legs, after 2 hours breathing on the oxygen machine, they stopped moving completely for 3 hours, which was brilliant as far as I was concerned. Well,
Wow.
if people get to see this video, they might then think twice about it.
Okay, so I'm Richard from Hydroworks, and I'm joined by Veronika. We met about 5 months ago,
Yes.
and Veronika's been using the Osmio Infinity Hydroxy machine. So I think if we probably start with you explaining when you were diagnosed and what your symptoms are.
Yeah. I was diagnosed in the winter of 2008, 2009. So I told them that I'd only had it for 5 years. My symptoms were really extreme tremors in my legs. This all started 5 years earlier. When I was sitting on the loo one day and my toes just started tapping on the floor, on the cold tiles. I put it down to being the cold tiles that were making my feet tap on the floor. It started in my left leg and then gradually it went to the right leg, and in the end they were both tap dancing together. It got worse and worse, but I didn't do anything about it because I thought, well, I know what it's going to be. It's going to be Parkinson's. I knew that because my dad had Parkinson's before he died.
Right.
My first medication was trihexyphenidyl, and
Right.
that cured my tremors completely. And I thought, oh, well, this is great. I'm perfectly normal, but of course I wasn't. And
Right.
then the second batch of medication I had, the pharmacist gave me a mixed batch, and they made me feel very sick. So I had to have domperidone. And as we all know now, domperidone leads to heart failure.
Yes,
So I was on domperidone for 9 years, and in the end I ended up with an atrial fibrillation. At least I wasn't dead like 85 others were from taking it regularly.
wow.
So that's how my symptoms started, and then gradually they progressed, and I became very stiff, and I had to go on Cinemat, and then after a little while they put me on Ropinirole, and I had a bad attack of an allergic reaction to the Ropinirole. So they took me off that and gave me the repeat patches, and within 6 months I was in A&E dying because I'd swollen up so much. This
Wow.
is all in my book, of course.
Yeah.
I've written a book about it all. Do you mind if I plug in my book?
No, definitely plug your book.
My book is called The Art of Falling Gracefully because I fall over all the time. You can get it on Amazon. It's only £6.99, and we're giving all the profits to Parkinsons UK to fund for a cure because they're all fed up with it. Can't stand it anymore.
Yeah.
Parkinson's, it's terrible. It's one of the worst diseases known to man because you look perfectly normal and you act perfectly normal, but inside you're dying a little every day.
That was one of your biggest problems, wasn't it? Falling over a lot, and you've had operations on your back.
Yes, I had to have an operation on my back to remove part of a vertebra because as I kept falling over, I squashed the spinal cord. One of the vertebrae moved out position and it was pinching my spinal cord. And as a result, they had to do something about that.
So I think we just need to cover how long sessions you were doing with the machine, or maybe your experience with the machine first. In your words, how would you describe the experience of using the machine?
Interesting. Putting it together for the first time was a nightmare, I thought, because I felt I was a bit on my own with putting it together, and I could have done with a bit of help. But I understand it now, so I don't have a problem. So I go out and everybody else who's coming on board with it, I go and show them exactly what to do to put it together. I started off using it for 3/4 of an hour in 3 separate sessions. So for a quarter of an hour in the morning, after lunch, and after dinner in the evening. And I gradually built up to it was 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at lunchtime, and 2 hours in the evening. And then lo and behold, when I did the first time on 2 hours in the evening, I'd forgotten to take my ATCOT medication. And my legs, after 2 hours breathing on the oxygen machine, they stopped moving completely for 3 hours, which was brilliant as far as I was concerned.
Wow.
So I feel like it would stop my tremors if I was going to do something in particular.
And they completely stopped the tremors?
Yes, they did. We've got a video of it somewhere or other.
Yeah.
And then I was asked to take it overnight. And I found I very much in the morning was bloated, full of hydrogen. I felt I was on top of the world, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Very happy with myself. I didn't stumble around. I got out of bed and moved quite freely. And what I need to do is top it up after lunch, I think, for a couple of hours. But I'm very busy and I don't have time to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for when we can get a portable machine. I can carry on my back or whatever.
We'll have to tag George Wiseman in on this and get him working on the Hydroxy backpack.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
No, that's true. I hadn't had a fall for a long, long time. My feet stick to the floor and I can't move. That's the main reason why I fall over, because my feet freeze, literally glue themselves to the floor, and my top half keeps going.
Yeah.
So my center of gravity goes immediately, and I've gone.
And has that been alleviated with the Hydroxy then?
Yes, it has.
Right.
To a certain degree. I mean, I still freeze a little, but I can unfreeze myself fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Which I couldn't do before.
Yeah.
My feet will move now, whereas I couldn't move them at all before. Well, if people get to see this video, they might then think twice about it. Becky, our Parkinson's nurse, is very interested in what's happening with this operating machine, because she gets 12 new patients every month. I don't know why people wouldn't jump at the chance. If I was bad, and, like I jumped at the chance. Yeah, it's nice to meet you at long last.
Yes, I knew.